You got your copy.
Floating.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have pictures of them.
I have my Kindle version.
Nice.
My final is probably sitting at home because I left on the 10th.
Hey, I see us on YouTube.
Hey, us.
Oh, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Good to see everybody.
I'm trying to...
All right. Don't see it on Facebook yet, but hey, if y'all can see us, chime in. Where are you watching from?
Yes, please.
Hey, Anna. Hello.
I'm going
Hey,
to
Anna.
pull up the Facebook as well.
Yeah, it's not live yet. It says it's going to go live in a little while. So,
Oh,
hey, Anna, where are you from?
There we go. All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so glad you are here with Lynn and Kelly and I to talk about Gutter Girl and all things Twin River. And I think we want to start this with a little something fun. Lynn and I, we're talking about this. And we're going to show some high school photos.
I have to get them on my phone. You go first.
I have one of mine. I was a cheerleader in high school. I am in the middle. Oh, this inverted camera's new. Over yonder.
Yes.
So, yes, I was a cheerleader. I'm kind of a little bit of the opposite of McKenna, but
As long as you aren't a Gretchen, it's fine.
No, I was a super nerd. I may have cheered, but I was definitely a nerd.
Yeah. All right,
Lynn,
are we ready for?
I want to see.
ready.
I want to see Lynn.
I'm so ready.
All right, this is my senior picture. Look at that hair.
That is.
Love the hair though.
That is fantastic.
Dude, big. Okay, so there's more. All right, let's find it. Okay, so in my yearbook. So it kind of looks like the cover of Gutter Girl, really. It's like the yearbook thing.
You came fully prepared. They really
Well, see, get this though. I threw out all of my yearbooks, but I took pictures of everything, so I have everything digitally. But you know, when I went down to minimalist stuff, yeah. So, and here's a true yearbook. Oh, yearbook one.
That is I love those. I love that.
Oh,
memory lane.
I'm a big letdown, y'all. I don't have any of my like senior pictures or my yearbooks here. They're all at my parents' house in Wisconsin. However, I've dug up a few pictures of when I was super little. So what I'm gonna do is I'll share them in my Instagram stories.
Yes.
Like I have one from first grade, and I remember, of course I remember everybody's names. Like I practically remember sitting in the spot and looking at it. But I will post a few, and they're super
cool
cute because we're really little.
Yay. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, I love looking back on like the little kid yearbook, and I'm like, oh, I remember all these people,
right?
It's not been years.
Yes.
But hello, Anna. It was nice to see you. I do see you.
Yay.
Anna is in Kentucky. Anna, you're not that far from us.
Yeah. I've been in Kentucky a time or two. My brother is a UK alum, so. From Kentucky.
Wildcats.
But let's kick this off with another fun question. Did either of your high school experiences contribute to any of the Twin River books, or Girl?
So I definitely think very specific moments in high school, as well as kind of the overall experience, did contribute to the first 3 books that we've written. I think the dynamics are really relatable in my mind and thinking about how certain groups of people or certain people get along. But there always is the exception, which, like Jace is an exception, right? To the rule. And a lot of when people think like stereotypical, like who writes fantasy romance? Most people assume assume, I think, women and not like, a high school senior who knows the football team and hangs out with the jocks. So I definitely think that played a big part for me in drawing an inspiration. What about you, Lynn?
Oh, definitely. Now I wasn't like a McKenna level outcast for the most part, but I was definitely outcast. I was off on my own, only had a couple friends, despite being an athlete, which is surprising, right? You would think your teammates, but I was kind of a jerk. I was kind of a jerk in high school. So I don't think I really would have wanted to be around me either. So I get it. No grudges.
I don't believe it, Lynn.
I mean,
I don't believe it.
I don't think I believe that either. No way.
I promise I'm not lying. But hey, it makes you who you are, right?
Exactly.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
But in the realm of high school, what is your favorite fictional high school?
Ooh, mine. I mean, I enjoy a lot of fictional high schools. I'll just throw that out there. However, I think the one that like stuck with me the most and also was a huge inspiration for this entire series is Sweet Valley High. I mean,
nice.
Does it get any more classic? The Wakefield sisters and, Todd and, is it Lila? Lila, right? Lila?
Sounds good.
I mean, like, oh, man. And those friendships and the breakups and the betrayals. I'm just like, ooh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Lynn?
Oh, yes. Well, for sure, 90210. That definitely jumps up to me. But even I was thinking about it, even just right now, it jumped in my head is Zach Morris.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. I mean, come on. That was awesome. That's so nice. But yeah, I think those for sure.
I think for me, I grew up reading, I don't even know if there's going to be kids old or people old enough to remember these, the Click books. I grew up reading those and Gossip Girl. So like that is my bread and butter for high schools. And then of course, the Breakfast Club classic.
Breakfast Club. Yes.
You didn't even think about Breakfast Club.
I know. Me neither.
So many.
Hello.
Everything just leaves.
I just watched an episode of Cougar Town. My husband and I were looking for just a lighthearted, funny show to watch at night. And we'd finished Scrubs recently. So there's a couple of characters from Scrubs and, a couple other characters like Courtney Cox from Friends. So we started watching it and they just had their spin-off. What is the one that you just not 16 Candles, Breakfast Club. High school kind of remake in the episode, and at the end she does this, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? Brought back some good memories.
And Pitch Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, Pitch Perfect is college.
I know, but that song, puts the arms up at the end. Just brings back all the feels.
Anna Kendrick is so good in that.
I know, right?
I digress.
Yes, sorry.
Squirrel.
No one said Glee.
Squirrel.
Me. All right, and what would your senior superlative have been?
Lynn and I were talking about this ahead of time, and I said most likely to talk to strangers, and it's probably true. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, usually at any time, and strike up a conversation with them. So yeah, probably most likely to talk to strangers, but in a non-dangerous stranger danger.
You're good at sussing that out. Yeah, you're good at sussing that out.
No, at least it's safe.
Yes.
Right.
Lynn, what about you?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I was definitely I didn't get good grades. Stuff like that. So maybe most likely to fail. Or I mean, I didn't get I mean, I got into college on probation, you guys, and even grad school. I ended up doing really well, but I think I surprised everybody. They probably weren't expecting that. But again, it made me who I am. I'm all good with it.
I think I would have definitely been like in one of the nerd categories because, yeah, something grades related. I mean, like, definitely grades are like most likely to win the reading challenge in school.
Yes.
Like hope. You get the hope
Aww.
from book 2.
Yes.
We love hope. Hope is so sweet.
We do.
And
She would definitely win reading challenges for sure.
Oh my gosh, I used to read those or try to win those all the time when I was a little kid. I was obsessed. And the book it coupons from Pizza Hut. I like lived for those. Yeah. I didn't even care if I went to Pizza Hut. I just wanted to win them. Very competitive at like 5 years old, I think.
For the two of you, what do you think Jason McKenna's superlatives would be?
So this one, we have 2. Lynn came up with one and I came up with one. And the one that I came up with is definitely very McKenna-like. It's very blunt and
yes.
probably is going to make people feel a little uncomfortable, but either most likely to tell you smell differently in your sleep, or most likely to kill you with sarcasm.
You know, the first one is a little like, I'd be kind of afraid, but
right,
like they're very McKenna.
Yeah,
they really are though.
I can't remember if it was in like a movie or a TV show, but like I remember seeing it where this guy or this girl goes up to someone and this person's like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "You smell differently awake."
Oh yes.
So I mean, I feel like that's it right in McKenna's, like realm of things to say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely.
You're welcome, everybody. Please go ahead and say that to a stranger tomorrow. I'm just kidding.
I've never heard that before, so that made me just what?
Or be like the person in the elevator who like randomly looks up and be like, "Y'all can see me."
Oh, nice.
We may have to try that one too.
Oh yes.
Especially with like the mask on, like they wouldn't necessarily be able to tell like what face you're making. They might think you're like super serious about it.
Like,
right.
Like, see me. And for Jace.
Okay, for Jace, we came up with most likely to keep a secret. That's probably pretty, self-explanatory. Yeah. If you've read the book. If you haven't read the book, then you're going to be like, what?
Pretty spot on, though.
Yeah. He's definitely got secrets.
Chelsea Book Girl C said, "I got best school spirit in middle school," which meant she actually cared about school.
I believe it.
So adorable. I love it.
Yeah, I could see that, Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
We believe you, Chelsea, unlike how we feel about Lynn's answer.
Yeah. I think Lynn is just pranking us, but,
Yeah, I wish. Hey, but then I wouldn't have all this great material for book writing.
Ooh.
True.
That's a good point.
Yep. It's all good.
And then what was your first relationship like? Was it anything like Jason McKenna's?
No. No. I think my very first like quote unquote relationship was with a boy. I won't say his name in case anyone from home is watching and they're like, "Kelly, what? Can we not put his business out there?" But I started going out. We were in 5th grade, so it just meant like we go out, like it was not real. But I went out with this one boy, and then my best friend went out with his best friend.
Oh.
And yeah, I think it lasted like 2 weeks again because we were like 10 years old.
It's a long
And
time in grade school.
right? Like I feel like we may have broken up like via a note or you know, something, or maybe my friend ran over to him and was like, Kelly's not going out with you anymore, or something just horrific. So yeah, not at all like Jason McKenna. And I don't know if I've ever dated anyone that was keeping like a big secret like this. Lynn, what about you?
Yeah, I don't think anybody I dated had a big secret that I know of, right? But first relationship, like 4th or 5th grade, let's play spin the bottle, you know, but probably not till 10th grade. I don't think I even went on maybe I'd went on a couple dates before then, but 10th grade maybe. And, you know, it was all sweet, hand-holdy type stuff. Nothing like this. You know, I went to a big school, 800, almost 900 people per grade. And like I said, I wasn't super friendly in high school. So didn't have a lot of dates.
You know what? I won't reveal this person's identity either because A, I might be watching, and B, if people knew this, I feel like they might be shocked. But this person has said this out loud before to a group of people, so I feel safe sharing.
Okay.
But it is an author friend who used to write secretly and never told her boyfriend, who she had been dating for, at this point, I think like 5 years. And one day he walked into the room when she was writing and she like slammed her laptop, like real, like, hello. And he thought that she was like cheating on him.
Oh no.
She wasn't. She was just like secretly writing a book and had never told him.
Why not?
I don't know. You got me. Because yeah, I won't reveal anymore because then you'll be like, oh, I know who that is. But yeah, like, and then so then at that point she was forced to tell him like, oh no, I'm actually writing a book. And he was like, what? Why would you tell me that? Like, this is 50 times worse, you know, than or, you know, what I thought was 50 times worse. So I mean, I guess people get funny about admitting things.
I mean, I feel like especially if it's like romance and stuff like that, it's kind of like, I don't want people to know.
Right.
They could be like Jace.
Oh, I love Jace.
You know, I'm not going to name any names, but now that we have all of the fun high school questions out of the way, let's talk about Gutter Girl.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character to write? I know it's like you to pick your children. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, typically what Lynn and I do when writing is I will take the female point of view and Lynn will usually take the male character's point of view. However, they obviously like speak to each other in, you know, one another's chapters. So we just have like a rule set that, you know, anything that when I'm writing a McKenna chapter, anything that Jace says, you know, out loud in conversation, or even his like reactions, anything related to Jace, like Lynn can always tweak it however she wants. And like, I'm like, yep, you're right. Because he's your character. And like the same McKenna. But, you know, I loved writing McKenna because she is so blunt and just so, you know, like flippant and like not flippant, that's not the right word, but she's just blunt about her answers. She kind of tells it like it is, but she obviously keeps up a very almost like a bubble. She keeps a bubble around her. And, you know, really the only one let in is her best friend Ernie. And, you know, other than that, she pushes everyone away and keeps them beyond arm's length. And I did really like that. And my second favorite, which Lynn got to write, I think most of these parts, but I did help tweak them a little bit, was little Lily.
I know, Lily.
She's so
Isn't she? Oh,
She's adorable. She's so cute.
yes.
Mm.
Because I don't have kids, so I'm all okay. What would a little kid say here? Kelly, help me with this. What would they do?
Yeah, but you wrote the cheek squishing.
Yes,
That's
I read
cute.
about that.
That's really stop it. That's really cute. Super cute. So I did love her.
Yes.
Lynn, is Jace your favorite?
Well, definitely. In the first 3 books are coming out this whole month of Twin River, and of all of the books, Landon was my favorite to write. Landon is in book 2. I love Jace because, he's an athlete, he's an author. I mean, I didn't know I wanted to be an author until I was like 30 or whatever. But so I didn't know that experience in high school, but secrets and, just trying to figure out what the heck do I do with this, and then defy the parent. Parent wants you to do one thing, you don't. I had a little bit of that going on when I was taking art classes because, what can you do with an art degree? And so I just really loved Landon, writing him the most, I think, from book 2.
He's so
And we'll hear why.
Oh, I love Landon. And Hope. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is Project Personality that Lynn and I are talking about, the 2 characters that are featured. But man, Hope is, there you go. Hope is so sweet and just so precious and very naive, I guess, about a lot of things, and but also brilliant. So it's just
little mini Sheldon.
Oh my gosh, she has her first drink, and I feel like it's not as bad as when when Sheldon on Big Bang Theory gives the speech and he ends with the planet Uranus, ends with a joke, only he pulls his pants. It's a whole thing. And it's a whole thing. Right. And the first time Hope ever has a drink, she's like, I scientifically measured out how many drinks I can have with, my height and my weight and my water consumption. She's got the whole
and
thing
pizza.
down. And it does not go according to plan, obviously. Yeah. So she just, loses it in this nerdy realm of Jurassic Park and this and that. And that's very me. So I feel like Hope and McKenna were probably my 2 favorites to write, but man, maybe we need to make a combination of the 2.
Right? Woo.
Gosh. Or you could always do book 4.
Well, we've actually been asked by many a reader for a very specific couple in book 4, and or featured individuals, we should say.
I think I know who you're
I was gonna say, who do you think it is?
Eddie and oh god, I'm gonna blank on her name, probably because I've been sitting in a classroom all day.
Rain Pride.
Yes.
Eddie. Oh, Ernie and Trinity.
Ernie and Trinity.
So we have had a lot of requests for an Ernie and Trinity story. I will say that. We definitely have. But the one we get asked for the most is actually a Kyle and Gretchen story. People want a redemption arc. Yep. Or for them both to crash and burn. I don't know. Maybe both.
So a la Aaron Samuels, Regina George kind of.
Yes, but I feel like Aaron Samuels
wasn't a terrible person.
He wasn't. Yeah, he was not a big jerk. I'm trying to think of the cheerleading movie.
Bring It On.
Bring It On.
And the boyfriend that goes off to college.
Oh
no,
Aaron.
Wait, am I thinking of the wrong movie? No.
No. You're right.
Is it?
Yeah,
Aaron?
Isn't it Aaron? Isn't that the name?
Cameron Diaz. I forget who the lead is.
Kristen.
Kristen Dunst.
Her boyfriend.
Yes, the boyfriend that goes off to college. I feel like that's more Kyle.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Where are you? And there's like a keg party going on in the background, and they're like, what? You know, like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't talk to him. Like, I feel like that's more Kyle, but I think Gretchen might be his weak spot. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Also, Lynn, I do have to tell you, it seems as though there's a lot of House of Night fans in the comments.
Oh my gosh, that's a great series.
Anna says she has a House of Night tattoo.
I know. I need to see a picture of that.
I have not.
Intrigued.
I've not read House of Night.
Oh, it's so good.
You're not alone. My sister has been like, read it, and I'm like, ma'am, if I
know, right?
list of books that I already have to read.
I know, right? Yeah, we'll just fit that in there.
TBR. I have to TBR. Well, I guess we can get into. I don't think this is a spoiler. I hope not, because I believe.
No, you're okay.
The verb. Was Jace's book Kingdom of Swords inspired by a book either of you have written or published or want to write?
So I really like fantasy. I love young adult fantasy books. They're some of my favorite. Amanda Hocking is literally the author who inspired me to actually write a book that I wanted to try to get published, and eventually did get published. So that was really exciting. And it was also young adult fantasy. And so for me, I thought and I also have a lot of experience on a writing platform similar to Scribbles, which is just a fictional platform we made up. So I have a lot of experience on Wattpad. I'm a Wattpad star, Wattpad ambassador, and one of my stories from Wattpad has been picked up by Comics Entertainment and Sony Pictures Television and is in development. So that's super exciting. But I thought okay, what would, in my mind, what would be most popular on a site like that? And maybe how would fans interact with an author, that they absolutely adore? And so I used some real life experiences of me and friends, and it was just, it just kind of came to us, and we have an outline, I feel somewhere, that is of Kingdom of Swords, because we had to keep track of it as we were telling their story, because we were all of a sudden, because at first you're does he finish it? Does he not finish? In this book, and we're yeah, he needs to finish it in this book, but we were oh my gosh, we need to keep things sorted, so we're not giving incorrect information or confusing readers. So yeah, we've actually been asked a few times.
Yep.
More than a few times, I think, to write Kingdom of Swords and to put it on Wattpad or to publish it so people can read it. And I think one day we should,
Agreed. I'm in.
I mean, I'm super intrigued. I want to read it.
I love fantasy. I mean,
towards the end, that sounded really cool, and I was I'd like to read that.
Yeah. You're gonna know how it ends, though.
Yeah. It's there's gonna be a sequel, so I mean, right? Because well, I won't, never mind, I won't say those words out loud because there'll be a spoiler, but just know that there's gonna be a lot of KOS, at some point.
Boom.
Well, okay, what else was
Hi, Joanna.
Hello, new friend.
Hey,
Yes.
Joanna.
Welcome. You guys.
Were there any family relationships that inspired Jason and Lily's relationship?
For me, I'm an only child, so I don't have a sibling. However, I do have a lot of experience working with little ones. I have my undergraduate is in teaching, my master's degree is in early childhood special ed, and I've taught everything from pre-K all the way up to high school. So I feel I saw, a lot of really adorable sibling interactions. Growing up, my friends all pretty much had siblings. And then also with my own daughter, because she's 2 right now. So I just kind of feel we channeled a lot of that into their relationship. But it's one thing I think that Lynn and I really like to include in our books. you know, whether writing together or separately,
Mhm.
we love a little sibling because it's just such a special relationship.
Yeah.
And, you know, you'll see Hope has a sibling. In the third book, there is no sibling for either. But in the penalty box, there's a really important sibling story there. And it brings like a really sweet, like emotional side to
Yes.
see a big brother, a big sister interacting with their, you know, little sibling. It's really relatable, I think, to a lot of people, and like,
Mhm.
you know, kind of warms the heart.
Yes, it sure does.
I mean, those were some of my favorite scenes were those two, because it's one of those like cute things when you, I don't know, as like a little sister, you always like want that protective big brother who will do anything for you. So I thought that,
Yeah, like when he tells her stories, I mean, like, who would not love that?
I know. I would love that.
So sweet.
I would have.
Right?
And we do have a comment from Madison. That I love that KOS had so many Instagram followers and fans. The usernames were so fun.
Those were great. Kelly did a good job creating those.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories behind those?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Captured, I hope I'm getting this number right. Captured is at, which is one of my most popular, or is my most popular story on Wattpad. Captured is sitting at 19 million reads, and I want to say has over 100,000 comments. And thank you. And on like the first sentence alone, there were like, you know, I don't know, 5,000 comments or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, this is the best thing ever. And like going through and reading them, and like people just come up with like the best usernames on there.
Yep.
And, you know, there's like different things that like, as I've been on Wattpad, which I've been on for quite some time, like, as you like go through, like there used to be like, instead of saying update, people would say potato. And I don't even know why. I don't remember even what the context of that was, but I remember, you know, seeing like potato, and I was like, what? And then another thing that became really popular was F for first, T for time, R. So FTR, first time reader, or second time, you know, through or whatever. But it'd be like first time reader, and then they say like the date, the time, and where they are. And I was like, oh, this is incredible too. Like, oh my gosh, you're in the Philippines, or you're in like, you know, wherever in the world. And it was it was really cool. So that definitely has lent itself to be very helpful in the Scribbles platform.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, just like some of the adorable names, you know, like, I mean, if you look up like Anna Todd, who's like incredibly successful in her book After, started on Wattpad. And I mean, if you just look on like Instagram or Twitter, like there are so many like adorable usernames that are like dedicated to her and her writing. So I was like, yeah, like this is definitely like Prince Jaren's Bay, or, you know, like whatever. I'm just like, yes, this is what I'm living
awesome
for right now. Like I'm really here for it. So thank you, Madison. I had a lot of fun with that. Probably too much fun.
And then Heather asked, any juicy character secrets you can divulge?
Oh,
secrets.
Juicy character secrets.
Other than the one that Jace is hiding.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I guess I won't say whom. I won't say who it is, but Ernie has had a crush on someone for a very long time. And you get to see how that plays out in this book, but as well in book 2. And 3, I guess, as well. Yeah. So
they're around.
That's a really that's a good one for sure. And, you know, maybe, I guess, a juicy secret that we talked about and touched on a little bit before is that maybe, you know, Gretchen and Kyle do have like a redemption arc in their future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they aren't the worst human beings for the rest of their lives.
Or just friends with benefits.
Right, or friends with benefits. And, you know, as far as Matthew and Todd go, like, they're not getting redeemed. I'm just going to throw that out.
Never say never.
They're horrible.
I know, but it's 12
true.
book series. I'm
It's
just kidding.
highly unlikely that we will redeem
Exactly.
either of them.
I'm with you, girl.
Harlow's really mean. You'll meet her in book 2.
So all 3 books intertwine is what you're telling me?
Oh, yes.
Oh, for sure.
I even get them confused, don't I, Kelly?
I'm just giving an example from Gutter Girl in a live event we did on Monday. And she's like, you know, when Trinity did her makeup. And I was like,
That's book 2. Yeah.
she was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Like, their worlds weave together. But I will say some characters, like Hope, who we meet in book 2, or Corey, who we meet in book 3, are maybe only mentioned like once or twice in the previous books. So you definitely do get to meet some characters, you know, for the first time. Like with Corey, he is from a different city when he comes to the story. So, you know, you've heard passing references, but you've never met them or heard them speak in the story. So that can be kind of fun and exciting because, you know, in high school, not everybody like hangs out, and, you know, like groups like are all kind of woven together through a person, right? Like, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that, you know, a person that usually hangs out with, you know, a certain set of people are going to, you know what's going on with another, you know, person in another group. So, you know.
Good stuff.
Probably the best way to describe it, which didn't do a great job at, but, you know.
It's all good.
I thought it was great. So.
Thanks. You smell different when you're awake. Just
maybe
kidding.
it's my perfume.
Oh my gosh. Woo!
And spoilers. Is there anyone that you would have done what McKenna did for Jace for?
Wait, is there anything? Can you say it one more time?
That anybody that you would have done what McKenna did for Jace for?
Oh, God.
Grand gestures.
Well, yeah, I think I would, especially like, I mean, like, of course, I would make a grand gesture for my sweet, loving husband, right?
You bet.
But in high school, like, you know, when emotions are high and hormones are out of control, like all those things, like I don't know if I would have been able to like get it together to go as far as McKenna. I mean, that's like, y'all, she has a very good grand gesture. Like that would have been very difficult for high school me to figure out.
Yes.
But I mean, I feel like I probably could have planned something like 15 times less impressive. What do you think, Lynn?
Yeah, definitely wasn't into the grand gesture thing, but the idea of like what she did to help him with that whole notebook thing. I know that's not the end of the book grand gesture, but it's like, I don't know that I would have done. I was so self-absorbed in high school that I really didn't care about anybody else but myself, or when my next tennis tournament was, or if I was going to beat so-and-so, or things like that. I was just so, you know, I don't know that I would have. And that makes me sad and makes me respect McKenna that much more because, dude, her life is not easy. And Jace hasn't done anything for her. He hasn't been mean to her or anything. He never jumped on the be mean to goth girl type wagon, which is awesome. But she still did it. I mean, she's just so brave. She's kind of an inspiration. Yeah. So I don't think I would have done it, but she did, and she rocked it.
Yeah, heck no. Not me. I would have been like, we'll plan this and then it'll never happen.
Right.
Speaking of McKenna's home life, was it difficult at all to write her mom?
Yeah. Yeah. It was really hard because there were a lot of really intense emotional scenes, and we wanted to make sure that our representation, was as authentic as possible, because dealing with, mental health and mental illness needs to be handled, in a proper way. You don't ever want to, fall into stereotypes or, have moments that, would portray someone in a negative light. And so we did have, sensitivity reads, and a lot of, a lot of work went into developing this character and making sure we did as best as we could, to authentically portray. But man, yeah, it could be really difficult. And, being a teacher, sometimes you would see parents that were having a really difficult time, be it with drugs or alcohol or mental health. And so, I saw it a lot of times with a pre-K all the way up to K, like the impact it had on the children. So I kind of felt like seeing it through McKenna's eyes is what a lot of my students experience, but with maybe a slightly different situation. But Lynn, as a counselor and working with people with addictions and mental health issues and disease, Lynn has a really good answer to this as well.
Yeah, I mean, emotionally it was difficult. It definitely was. But I could see it in my head. I could see what was happening in my head because I'd witnessed a lot of that several times over. And, the tendency of someone that is struggling with bipolar disorder to possibly be turning to drugs, alcohol, I think it's so common, and so that's why I ended up seeing a lot of it, because I worked in a rehab facility. And that's what my master's degree is in, addiction therapy. So that's why I love Landon so much. Right. But yeah, it was difficult emotionally because we were trying to take it through McKenna's eyes, obviously, because that's the character. And, and then Jace sees her a couple times, and, he's a guy, he's 17, they maybe aren't, super compassionate, well, nobody's really super compassionate at 17, unfortunately, but I know I wasn't. But so yeah, it was a unique take, and it was pretty exciting, actually. I enjoyed writing that a lot, and I appreciated our sensitivity readers as well. They gave some really great feedback.
Well, I really enjoyed the fact that there was a trigger warning in the very beginning of the book. I always think it's fantastic, and I really liked the way that both of you dove into not only her mind but Jace's, and were able to accurately portray how they would react as a kid, especially in McKenna's position. That's not an easy thing to dive into, especially if you've never lived it. But I think it was done very beautifully.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, put on a high school student to essentially be in charge of the house, bills, and everything, just everything, mowing the grass, like that's a lot on anyone, especially a teenager, and holding a job and going to school.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
I personally couldn't imagine it. I was very lucky, but it was very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And from the comments, Heather said that both of you are amazing authors. So I wanted to
Heather, we adore you. We love Heather.
And I love this question, Curtis. Where did the inspiration or idea come from for the series? With such a large ensemble cast and so many characters in the background, it reminds me very much of Degrassi, which I love Degrassi. So
thank you, Curtis. That's sweet. We were approached by our publisher and, asked if we wanted to work on a really big project, and we did some brainstorming, and, a combination of kind of like a revamped, more modernized Sweet Valley High, which is, sweet, still has a lot of, angst and everything, but it, for the most part, is fairly sweet and, innocent, mixed with like a Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Which it's not sweet and innocent, It's like high schoolers are like going to clubs in like New York City, and you're like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
happening? Like, what are you, you're drinking? Like you're in a bar? Like,
Yeah, they just stroll up and get a drink.
right?
To the clubs and be like, oh, we'll have a martini. I'm like, how do you know what a martini is? It's
Right? And
it's
like,
soda was.
how do they look so grown up? Like in high school, like, yeah. But we wanted to take like that, like, you know, a little bit toned down version of that, you know, and set it in a city in Wisconsin. Lynn and I are both from the Midwest. And so we kind of took some of our favorite, you know, parts of like Madison, Wisconsin, and La Crosse, like, you know, and other parts where we either lived or had family, mixed with, you know, some Minneapolis, St. Thomas area, or St. Paul, and, you know, just kind of mash it into this like really fun fictional town. And one of the this is in book 3, and I won't give away, you know, spoilers or anything, but there's quite a few scenes in book 3 that take place at the ice festival.
Yes.
And it is
so
just
fun.
like the most amazing thing. And I was speaking with Marisol, a reader who lives in Mexico, and she was like, oh my gosh, there's a snowball fight. That's the only spoiler I'll give.
Oh, yeah.
But there's like a town-wide snowball fight. And she's like, oh my gosh, that looks so much fun. And I was like, no, that happens in real life in Madison, only it's like on the college campus. Like it is 100% a thing. And that's why I thought like, what a cool freaking opener, you know, like to this huge event that's dedicated to snow and ice, you know? And so, yeah, I loved that. And I loved the whole cast of characters because you can kind of just turn the spotlight on, you know, different people at different times. And you know what? In high school, some people, you know, maybe have a little emotional arc, but like a lot of people have a pretty like intense like growth. And it's not always, you know, up. You know, like sometimes it's like, you know, so I think having, you know, we'll have over 25 characters. I mean, 24 that are spotlighted at the end, but there's tons of secondary characters and, you know, everything in the background. So I think it's like really, really cool to be able to like, you know, have that many people. It's like almost like a 90210 as well. But Lynn came up with a super important life-saving spreadsheet. Lynn, will you tell them about our world spreadsheet, like how we keep track of everyone?
Let's just say thank God for Google Docs and Google spreadsheets because legit, we're writing a book, we're typing it, and we're introducing a character. I'll cut and paste that intro line into that world so we remember, oh, they came in book 2, this is what they said. Or really looking at, okay, how would Jace describe McKenna? That's what I'm going to cut and paste in McKenna's description of her. And so we have tabs, we have oddly drawn little pictures of the town. And so we remember it's a left turn on East River Road to get to Annie's or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of saved us, I think, a few times. And we've had to change a few times. Like as we're writing, we're like, oh crap, that doesn't work. Well, we got to go change our world. She's probably like, Kelly's probably like, okay, she says again. Lynn says again, go change it in the world. Go change it in the world. Okay.
You did just tell me that. I feel like recently too.
I know. It's more for me too.
It was a different sheet. But you're like, update the sheet.
Yeah.
We have to, y'all. If we don't keep track, I'm telling you, like remembering everybody's eye color and like, what? I don't know. Like, do they have pimples? Do they not? Like, you know, our brains can get really laid down with a lot of facts. So, or weighed down, not laid down, weighed down. So we, you know, we have to keep
the
track
world
of it in a world sheet.
So you're definitely not pantsers then. You don't just.
Oh no.
I was before I met Kelly.
Hello. I'll help you organize.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, no, we had to.
No, it's good now.
I went from pantsing to Saved by the Catting, which is like a very intense outline. Like it's like, you know, maybe not. Well, yeah, I think you can break it down by page number with like a super great free worksheet that you can find online. But it's like page 125, this has to happen. And it's like very specific, and 3 acts, and this is this, and this is this, and that was a lot for me. So I definitely took a lot of parts of that, and Lynn found, that like we do well with a certain plot structure and, certain things happening at certain points. And so we kind of follow that, but loosely, as in when we outline, we do what's right for the story. And if that means something has to happen on page 3 instead of page 2, like we make sure that's okay and work it out.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm more of a pantser, so kudos to both of you for being.
Don't worry, I'll get you on the outline soon. It'll be great.
One day I'll get there. If I ever sat down to write. But which character do you think you most relate to? And this can be in any of the 3 books.
Oh, in any of the 3 books.
Ooh,
I think I feel like I'm kind of a mix of all of the characters that I have written, but I was definitely very competitive in sports. And so far we haven't had a super competitive female athlete. So in a way I relate to Jace or Landon in that respect. But yeah, kind of a mixture of the 3, like the funny, like bluntness of McKenna. Like I definitely think a lot of those things in my head, and sometimes I don't say them out. A lot of times I don't say them out loud.
but it's so funny when you do.
But yeah, sometimes it can be real funny when I do. And then, Hope just being like such a nerd, like I like learning a lot. Sometimes I stay up so late, and I'll be doing work, and then my mind is spinning, and I'm like, oh, I'll just like read, this Reddit thread to like calm my brain down. And then it's like, a whole thread on like, explain it to me like I'm 5. And it's like, how do planes fly? And then I'm like, how do planes fly? And then I read like 1,500 comments, and I'm like, oh, and then it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, well, I'm glad I know how a plane flies, but now I'm exhausted. So that I feel like is a little Hope, and the pressure of like doing well in school and getting good grades, like that definitely was in me. Lynn, what about you?
Boy, that sure is a tough one. There's little aspects of me or whatever in a lot of the characters. And I don't know, I like Landon because he's kind of like off on his own. Like in book 1, he's tired a lot and you find out why. But just kind of like guarded. And I think I was like that in high school. I'm not super guarded anymore. But I kind of relate to that, how he kind of kept people at arm's length. He has some big issues he's hiding, but and I didn't necessarily have those. But I feel like keeping everybody a little bit away, not totally in. I think I can relate to him the best. I think that's my guy.
Yeah.
And then I have to say, I would rather not know how a plane flies, because that's the other thing that I do. So I don't like
flight attendant.
Yeah, no,
think about it and not like, woo, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will the new books that are coming out beyond the library app, which I'm assuming is Overdrive, or Libby, or Hoopla? I don't know if you know that.
I don't think so.
I don't know, but I hope so.
Yeah. That'd be great if they got digital or audio.
Yeah, we can definitely
And you
we'll
can
definitely check with our publisher and keep you updated.
And I think you can request from your library, and then usually they reach out if that's something that interests you, Heather. I've done it before with my library where I've requested books to come.
Oh, yeah. Yes, because we definitely had people request digital copies in the penalty box through libraries. I remember seeing some people sent me like, hey, I just requested this, yay! So I remember seeing emails with that.
Cool.
And then, do either of you use writing as an escape, similar to I feel like Jace kind of does or did in a sense?
Yeah.
Kingdom of Swords.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We've had a difficult, and by we I mean like the world, has had a really difficult 2020, 2021. I think, Lynn, were we talking about the murder hornets? And you were like, what? Right? Is that
Yes.
us? Okay, good. Just making sure for a second. It's like, there was a pandemic and then there was like Tiger King and then there were murder hornets and then, and it's just like, and then this like, okay, I don't know if y'all know what cicadas are.
Yes.
Right? So there's like this big like brood of cicadas coming about, right? And they might come to the Asheville area where I am, and they might come to where you are, Brittany.
I grew up in Cincinnati. I'd just rather not have them anymore.
Yeah, no, they're intense, and so I mean, like I feel like we most likely had them in Wisconsin. Maybe we never had this intensity, but and just like we had just moved into like a new house, a new neighborhood, and like we have this neighborhood like chain email, and really ridiculous, y'all. I sent an email to my neighbors and said, it sounds like somebody's car alarm is going off. Or not car alarm, house alarm. Yeah. It sounds like, it's just like high pitch, but I'm like, it's been going off for like hours. I just want to make sure like everybody's okay. Okay. At the same time, I ask a group of like 25,000 people in Asheville, some of which can be very snarky and hilarious. I'm like, what are these weird bugs with like orange eyes? And okay.
You got some info.
So then like I quickly was told. And then at the same like time, like my neighbor was like, oh, ha ha. Like they thought I was kidding. And it was really the freaking cicadas. And it was like the worst brood we'd ever had or something. And like, I kid you not, I have to look at what the decibels were, but it was like half as loud as a plane or like whatever, right? I keep talking about planes, but like, it was so mind blowing how loud it was. And the weirdest thing was my in-laws live like 11 minutes away. And it wasn't that bad there. And I don't know if it's because like we're literally like on the side of a mountain and they were like falling from the sky and you'd like step and it'd be crunchy and bleh. But yeah, my neighbors were just like, ha, you're so funny. And I was like, no, I don't get it. And they're like, oh, they're bugs, Kelly. Nobody's alarm is going off. They're cicadas. And I was like, oh.
I remember in Cincinnati, people would like dare each other to like pop the heads off and eat them. I'm like, ew,
no.
Gross.
Oh no. Oh no. Ooh.
Wait a minute. I thought we were talking about escaping through writing.
Oh yeah.
Popping bug heads.
Sorry. A little bit of a tangent. Thanks, Lynn, for bringing it back around. So anyways, the world is tough. And so yes, I definitely use writing as an escape. And I feel like for Lynn and I, it worked really well. We were able to write 5 or 6 books last year alone. Yes. So yeah, we could crank it out, but not everybody had that same experience.
Yeah. And we escaped the cicadas by writing and the chaos of the world.
We could hear them inside our house.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna put a video up. Not only will it be my little kid picture from school, but I'm also going to put up the sound just so you all can see how intense it was.
But you do kind of just forget about what's going on around you when you're writing, whether it's, I'll lose 3 hours like that,
and you
just
can
boom.
Control it. You can control the world. You can control what happens to the characters. And so it's a very, in a world that feels out of control and a time that feels like, oh my gosh, we can't, keep anything like how we need it to be right now. Like, especially you need like, like a routine and a schedule. And it's like, you don't get to leave your house anymore. And it's like, wait, but on Tuesdays I go, do spinning. It's like, no, you don't, Nope. So yeah, like it gave us a good sense of control, I think.
It did.
Cicadas.
Yeah. Now I'm going to be like dreaming about cicadas.
I know.
But I think we are coming to the close.
Yes.
So anybody have any last questions? If you do, drop them below.
Yes.
please.
Am I allowed to do one spoiler question?
Sure,
Yeah,
if you got time.
of course. Let's do it.
The scene towards the end with Mackenzie when she find Mazrin's card, was that tough to write?
Oh,
Dude.
that was so sad. And little Lily's reaction.
No doubt.
That was the worst, I think, because she thought she did something wrong.
I know.
And you just see her like,
Yes.
She's just standing there.
cute.
Oh, and she was so proud, to show it. And it just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all. Yes, that was difficult.
That and the ending scene, well, towards the end, the flash mob. Has it ever happened to you?
No.
Would you want
Lynn,
that?
have you ever had flash mob experience?
I sure haven't.
We had to we've seen him on TV, obviously, or, read. Well, I don't know if I have read anything with him, but seen him on TV and we had to do some research. Lynn did a lot of research because it's mostly told through Jason's point of view. And so, Lynn wrote that wickedly amazing.
That was fun.
That was really, really cool. And I feel unexpected.
Gotten a lot of feedback about that one. Yeah. But we won't say too much in case you don't know what we're talking about.
But I do think people really enjoy it. So
yes. McKenna is definitely a lot braver than I would have been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would take some major guts to do what McKenna does.
And whether he likes it. I'm like, all right, girl, do you?
Love it.
I guess our last question is from Caitlin, which, hello, welcome. And she asked,
Hi.
can you all answer what's in the water at Untitled that y'all write the most swoon-worthy characters? Girl, if you find out, let me know.
Thank you.
Let me know.
Uh-oh, did we lose Kelly? She looks like she's frozen. Caitlin, yeah. And Entangled has good editors. They help us really shine what we write. So, yeah. It's the editors, too.
I mean, I definitely agree, and I would like to know what's in the water, and can I have some? Or one of the heroes wrapped up and delivered to me.
Yes, please.
At a time, please.
Love it.
But, yes, it has been so fun talking with both of you and Kelly and talking about Gutter Girl and Twin River. And congratulations on release on Monday, and congratulations on the 2 coming releases, which I believe book 2 is this coming Monday and following Monday.
Yep. Book 2 is next Monday, and book 3, Chaos Theory, is then on the 24th.
Crazy, but exciting. I'm very excited to read both books 2 and 3, and I hope everybody had a great time. Thanks for coming. And
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, guys.